Hi, my name is Patrick Brugos, and today we will be going over my technology and teaching portfolio, and also how different technology tools align with the ISTE standards. First, we will be going over what are ISTE standards. The ISTE educator standards are used to help educators implement technology into their classrooms. These standards include learner, analyst, facilitator, designer, leader, citizen, as well as collaborator. First, we will not be going over a tool, but rather the concept of digital citizenship. Knowing the concept of digital citizenship is important as an educator as well as a student. Two important pieces of being familiar with your digital citizenship is understanding what copyright law is as well as fair use in education. The first aspect of digital citizenship that we will be discussing is copyright law. Copyright law is a legal protection of original works like books, music, and films. Only the creators of those books, music, and films have the rights to reproduce, distribute, and display their work, as well as make profit off of it. The second concept of digital citizenship that we will be going over is fair use. Fair use is the ability to use copyrighted work without permission only in certain ways or situations. Some things to think about is the purpose, the amount, the effect, and the nature of what you are doing with the original work. To start off with the purpose, the new work has to be educational or transformed into something almost completely different. It can have things that are copyrighted inside of it, but that needs to be changed into one's own thinking or one's own display. The second thing to think about when using fair use is the amount of work that you are using. The amount of copyrighted work should not be an extremely large portion. It should be fairly small, and you should not be taking the ideas of the creator and implementing them and presenting them as your own. The third thing to think about when using fair use is determining what the nature of the copyrighted work is. If the copyrighted work is published and factual, then it is good to use. But if it is unpublished and a creative type piece of work or a nonfiction type piece of work, then it might not be okay to use. The last thing to think about when using copyrighted material is the effect of your use on the market. So basically, whether or not this copyrighted material is giving you an income. If it is giving you an income and impacts the original creator's income from the product that they created, then it is not able to be used. But if you are not making any income off of it or pulling anyone away from the original creator's content, then it is completely okay to use. The first tool that we will be looking at today that we learned in class is AI, or artificial intelligence. AI is a simulation of human intelligence using data and algorithms to perform complex tasks. On your screen, as you can see, we have ChatGPT, which is one of the largest AI programs in the world right now, but we will be going over a different tool which we touch base on in class. The tool that we touch base on in class is Magic School AI. And now I'm going to show you what the interface looks like as well as the different tools on it that you can use. As you can see here in front of us, we have the Magic School AI dashboard. I signed up as a teacher, so I have on the left side under Magic Tools, most of my teacher tools right here. When using Magic School AI, it is very good for lessons, grading, it's suited for schools, and it also saves time. As you can see down here, there is a long list of different types of tools that you can use. So go into the bottom here. There is a team builder / icebreaker. This is good for virtual or in-person getting to know people. This is very good for beginning of the year things and for younger classrooms coming up with questions where students can get to know each other. So as we come to the top here, one of the ways that I like to use Magic School is assisting me in lesson plans for when I am stuck on a certain part to do in a lesson, whether that be the intro or the conclusion or something in between. So if we go here and click on lesson plan, I'm going to set the level to, we'll say 11th grade. And I'll say, give me a tech ed lesson plan involving 3D modeling on Inventor Pro. So we go here, click on generate, and it creates the learning objective, the assessment, the key points, the opening, the introduction. It goes through all of this in about 20-ish seconds. As you can see, it's still going. It even comes up with homework, shows the standards where it aligns, and everything like that. So yeah, there is the lesson planning tool. The ISTE standard that Magic School AI meets is the Citizen Standard. When using Magic School AI, there is questions of ethical practices inside of AI as a whole, and when educators and students use this application in the correct way, it demonstrates ethical practices. The second tool that I will be discussing, which we used and learned in class, is a screencasting tool called ScreenPal. ScreenPal is used to record and edit screen recordings and also implements AI into editing. As you can see here, I am on the ScreenPal's page, which tells us a little bit more about the application. In this application, it is very user-friendly, very easy to edit, as you can see here. By one click of the button, it opens this menu of a lot of different things that you can use. It also delegates manual work to AI, so it auto-generates video transcripts, captions, chapters, as well as summaries, which can all be edited by the creator. It also is able to reach a global audience. So if you make a video and you want it to be for audiences outside of your classroom, you can translate it into different languages so that your content can be shared around the world. The next tool we will be discussing is Nearpod. Nearpod is a formative assessment tool used to teach lessons, collaborate with the class, and share ideas with other teachers. So I just wanted to go over real quick how to use Nearpod. So if you come over here and click create a new lesson from scratch, you can choose pre-made activities, you can choose to upload materials, or you can choose a blank slide and activities. So whenever you are in Nearpod, you can choose multiple choice activities, time to climb, which is a game, drag and drop, a collaborative board, an open-ended question, a draw it, as well as the rest of these. So there's a lot of options on how to interact with your classroom. If we go to Nearpod here as well, we can look at an example. So if we come to this welcome back to school, we open it up, you get the classroom code, and you go through, are you ready to start the school year? Let's get pumped. You can add a video. You can do many different things. So that is a little example. The ISTE standards that Nearpod meets is the collaborator, leader, and designer standards. For the collaborator standard, you are collaborating with teachers and students in your classroom and around the world. For the leader standard, you are modeling digital tool use for students and teachers. And for the designer standard, you are designing innovative learning environments, having it on the computer rather than an in-person environment. The next content that I will cover is the TPACK and the SAMR models. TPACK stands for Technological, Pedagogical, Content Knowledge, and SAMR stands for Substitution, Augmentation, Modification, and Redefinition. The TPACK model focuses on what teachers need to know to blend tech, content, and teaching methods all together, while the SAMR model is more of a ladder of how much technology is integrated into a lesson or into the content that you are teaching. So as you can see on the left side here, all these different types of knowledge interchange and interlink with each other in this Venn diagram. So for some lessons, you might have content knowledge and have some pedagogical knowledge, but no technology. Then you would be using pedagogical content knowledge, and that applies and can go around and intermix for all three. The SAMR model has two tiers to the ladder of how much technology is used and how much it changes the original content. So the first half of the ladder is enhancement with technology. It includes substitution and augmentation. For substitution, the technology is a direct substitute, but the function is still the same. For augmentation, the technology is also a direct substitute, but there's functional improvements in the content. For the second half of the ladder, for transformation, it has modification and redefinition. Modification is technology allows for significant task design, so it looks a lot different than the original work. And redefinition, it allows technology to be used for creation of a new task which would be previously inconceivable without technology. Both of these concepts are extremely important when using technology to help guide learning. I will be dealing with this a lot in my everyday life when teaching, since I am teaching tech ed and I will be using technology every single day in every single class. The final tool that I will be discussing is not a tool that I learned in class, but rather a tool that I learned outside of class in my previous high school experience and in my college experience, called Inventor. Inventor is a 3D modeling software that allows the ideas from your mind to be created into a 3D model, which can also then be put into a 3D printer and made into real life. Inventor is used in many tech ed classes, as well as its brother program, Fusion 360. These programs can also be used in the real world for engineers and construction workers. Inside of the programs, there can be different stress tests on the objects that you create. If I was a construction builder and I wanted to see how many miles per hour of wind my building could withstand, I could do that in this program. So it is very good at turning hypothetical objects or hypothetical situations into something that we can rely on. Overall, I have learned about many tools and have gained a lot of knowledge in teaching and technology, and I am excited to use these tools and apply it into my classroom. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day.